Welcome back to What Even Happens in Kingdom Hearts 3, and we'll label this episode Xion's Gamble. Today we'll be dialing back the clock a little bit further than usual and talking about my favorite Kingdom Hearts game, 305 8 Days Over 2, as I show you how Xion, during the events of the game, formulates a plan to achieve Roxas' return, which we see in Kingdom Hearts 3. During the events of days, which is framed as the time frame of a year split between Roxas and Xion, with the importance of the two being retro-referential to how Xion is never mentioned in Kingdom Hearts 2 itself. As you can imagine, this is due to the fact that everyone forgot her existence at the end of 305 8 Days Over 2, with her defeat at the hands of Roxas finally giving her the opportunity to go away and leave Roxas in peace. You can glean this detail when Xion meets Roxas atop the tower the day after her recapture at the hands of Axel.
Well, hello there, Xion.
Axel? No, wait!
Yeah.
Stop! Xion!
Are you really okay?
This is getting weird.
Huh?
Since when do you ever worry about me?
What do you mean, weird?
Usually I do all the worrying over you. I don't think it's ever been the other way around before. Just feels strange, that's all.
Roxas, of course I worry about you.
I'm just glad you're back, Xion. Even though it might have been rough on you.
Is Axel coming today?
Who knows?
You didn't fight, did you?
How could he? How could that jerk attack you like that?
That jerk? Do you mean Axel? But I wouldn't be sitting here with you if Axel hadn't done that. He's your best friend.
I know, but so are you.
It's just not the same without all three of us.
With this desire itself stemming from Xion's discovery of her origins and how her existence has hindered the restoration of a boy named Sora from Riku, and how she exists to steal Roxas's powers. But what happens when this puppet becomes self-aware and begins to diverge from her original purpose? Well, we were told in Dream Drop Distance from Xemnas that through various dispositions, most of the original members of the organization were deemed inadequate to become members of the newly formed 13 Seekers. One of these given reasons was a weakness of body, a second was a weakness of trust, and lastly, a weakness of will. This, funnily enough, sums up exactly what happens with Xion in the events of 305 8 Days Over 2. Through the years spent with Roxas and Axel, Xion begins to ascribe and derive self-worth and meaning to her own existence.
Is it that I'm not supposed to exist?
Well, what do you want to do, Xion?
I want to be with you two.
Then come back with us.
I can't. Not the way I am now. But what would it take for me to be like you?
beginning the game with no memories of who she was prior to becoming a nobody, a disposition she shares with specifically Roxas. However, in his case, the absence of his memories is due to Xion's ability to leech Sora's memories, and thus his powers and combat experience from Roxas himself, or her powers and combat experience from Roxas himself. At some point during this year, Roxas proposes the idea of the Sea Salt Trio abandoning the organization and running away, so that they could be together forever. An idea shot down by Axel as he describes how being together forever isn't what matters, but cherishing the memories and moments they share together is what truly will keep their connection alive no matter what happens and where they may end up.
Well, it's gotta be something nifty if you're a winner, right?
Cool.
Wow. The sun's beautiful. I know we've seen a lot of sunsets, but today's puts them all to shame. If only things could stay like this forever.
Say, what if we all just took off?
What?
If we ran, I bet we could always be together.
But we have nowhere to run.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
What's important isn't that we hang out with each other every day.
As long as we keep each other in our thoughts, we'll never be apart, right? We've got it memorized, Axel.
Good.
I'll have these moments memorized for a long time. Forever.
Me too.
Some real prophetic words, as by the end of the game, Roxas and Xion will abandon Axel and leave the organization, with the connection they make over the year only living on through him and thus tethering the two of them to this world. You can see this in Dream Drop Distance when Lee awakens in Radiant Garden, where he sees Axel while in his comatose state as his body is being recompleted, who spurs him to remember the promise he would never make to Roxas himself, but rather to Xion.
What's your problem? You both think you can do whatever you want. Well, I'm sick of it. Go on, you just keep running. But I'll always be there to bring you back!
Meaning that somehow, some way, the Roxas within Sora remembers the events of 358 Days Over 2. In Dream Drop Distance, Roxas shows Sora specifically a memory of the day he fought Xion, the day after he left the organization. You'll forget me, but the memories themselves will never go away. That's what Xion told Roxas, and it's because of the fact that Xion is made within the image of how Sora remembers Kairi, that putting those memories back into his chain of memories erases not the existence of, but the persona that is Xion from the memories themselves. However, Xion doesn't just go into that goodnight. That farewell at the end of days also comes with a specific promise, a proclamation of sorts that she will see Roxas again someday, and the assurance that she was willing to give her existence because, and the assurance that she was willing to give up her existence because Roxas and Axel are her best friends. So with all that, how does Xion ensure that Roxas will return in the Keyblade Graveyard within Kingdom Hearts 3? Well, in days when Xion reads the logs of the organization, or rather Xemnas' plans in Castle Oblivion, which is alluded to in Kingdom Hearts 3 to have been known about by higher up members in the organization for a long time, which can be verified by Xigbar knowing this in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Somewhere in those records, Xion must have learned about the plan to hook everyone up to Kingdom Hearts, or the Kingdom Hearts of People's Hearts, and make everyone into Xehanorts. In retrospect, if we assume this plan was always the end goal of the Xehanort saga, Xigbar and Aiza were already partially Xehanorts already. This is why they alone carry the Amber Eyes alongside Xemnas even prior to Dream Drop Distance itself. And we are told in Kingdom Hearts 3 that the replica program was meant to create a husk for characters that had been defeated in the past, that they traveled here as hearts, and the replicas were waiting on them to give their hearts vessels.
This is impossible. Where did you get a vessel?
Same as you.
Same how?
Most of the organization's members, they traveled here from the past as hearts. And you had replicas ready and waiting. One for each of them.
Who told you?
I owe my return to many. Some of them people you knew.
Ansem the Wise. Xion.
And others too. It seems you're not as good at winning over people's hearts as you think.
Ah, I see.
There was one last thing I needed in order for me to be whole again. A connection. Sora helped me find my way back here. To my friends.
Roxas!
Xion's whole existence as part of this plan is to ensure that in some way, form, or fashion, Xehanort gets his hands on a version of Sora.
No matter how, Sora's power will belong to us.
But without Sora around, all that can be done with the husk of Xion is allow her to mooch off of someone else. Well, Moonlight Aiza has an endless supply of power, thus she is paired with him in the Scheme of Severance. I think that the hope here was that within this battle, Xion would regain her past strength by coming into contact with Sora himself. You can even kinda interpret this with the data fights. Xion is recognized as the 13th member of the organization, for one, but secondly, her boss fight will become available only after the data fights that Sora will face previously, where he will face the other 12 members of the organization before you can fight Xion and then progressively Master Xehanort himself. After Sora has been in close proximity to her gate for long enough, which is marked by your mastery and victory over the rest of the Seekers, in this fight Xion has clearly regained her light-based powers that she had at the end of Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. Powers only derived from Sora and Roxas. With all this, I think it's valid to presume, as this may never be shown, that Xion planned for Roxas to appear again the day she would come across Sora on the battlefield within the Scheme of Severance. Just look at how that scene plays out in the Scheme of Severance. Aiza bears down on Lee, Xemnas reappears to monologue about punishing Axel and almost taking his life. Xion for a moment hesitates, hiding her motives under needing him alive, needing his heart. Xemnas orders her to take his life and Sora steps in. And in Remind, we are shown that the Sora inside the dive to heart, when these events occur, sees the promised memories, leaving his heart to be reclaimed by Xion herself, almost as if these are the only memories that really matters to the puppet itself, who is siphoning the memories from his heart, using that special puppet powers of hers to do so. Because Xion herself placed them there, memories of you and I will live on together forever inside him, and see you again someday. Roxas shows Sora the memory of the day he fought Xion. Sora says that Roxas and the other two, meaning Axel and Xion, had the ability to cry after this moment to Xemnas, proving they had hearts. By coming into contact with Xion, who knew she'd come into contact with Sora someday, Roxas finally wakes up within Sora, which is the whole point of what's going on with Sora's portion of the story, where he's looking for a way to give Roxas comfort and the ability to exist on his own. And when he does, all three members of the Sea Salt Trio already know what needs to be done and what's expected of them from each other, With a single word, they already have formulated a plan to reclaim the chi, or the X, in their names from Xemnas himself. And this is not a theory. Roxas says this is all true himself. So if Xion is the connection that finally stirs his heart up enough that it awakens and blooms within Sora, then it can only be the case that Xion planned with her knowledge to have this meeting occur to awaken Roxas within Kingdom Hearts 3 by leaving their memories within Sora, which would bring the version of Xion that we know from 305 Days Over 2 back when she meets Sora within the Skein of Severance within Kingdom Hearts 3. And then, of course, her being close to Sora would allow Roxas to finally awaken within Sora. And then, of course, the connection would have to be strengthened by Sora to allow Roxas to finally reappear outside of the body. And I think that's always been the plan here, where I think Xion actually does make a way for Roxas to return within Kingdom Hearts 3. She's the reason why he's able to return. Or not even just the reason why he's able to, but she's the whole entire reason why he returns. Because every other attempt to try and get Roxas to return, from visiting Twilight Town, trying to go to the Daybreak Town, the Data Twilight Town, and even having Xion on the other side in Radiant Garden attempting to reconstruct the data of Roxas within the Data Daybreak Town, none of these attempts to restore Roxas bear any fruit. However, somehow, once Xion is in the presence, hell, they even meet Lee/Axel again, and Roxas doesn't wake up. However, it is when Sora comes into contact with Xion herself that Roxas will finally awaken. And when we see these events in Remind, you see how specifically the memories of 305 Days Over 2 return to Xion, which allows them to return to Axel, and then awakens Roxas himself. And what does Xion tell Roxas? That memories of them will always be together forever inside of Sora. But if that's the case, and she allows these memories to go to Sora, because you have to understand, when Nominate tells her what's going to happen when she gives the memories back to Sora, her existence is supposed to be completely erased. However, because she doesn't go through the means of helping Nominate by forfeiting her existence and helping Nominate specifically restore Sora, but rather being defeated by Roxas and choosing to go back to Sora, or choosing to return those memories to Sora, their memories, their moments, just as Axel said, the most important part of their existence, these memories that they have, go into Sora too. And Xion reads the data from the computer in Castle Oblivion, where she learns the truth of her origins. And Tetsuya Nomura has even said himself that there's also records of the plans of the organization within the same computer that Xion read about her origins from. So it seems like what happens here is that Xion, who knows what Xemnas is trying to achieve, which is why she tells Roxas specifically to stop Xemnas from getting a hold of Kingdom Hearts. Well, when we come to the Skein of Severance in Kingdom Hearts 3, it is Xion who has the ability, or who has enough of a connection with Roxas, that he will finally awaken within Sora. And of course, we see him return at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. So thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll come back with more what even happens in Kingdom Hearts 3. There's a few more topics we need to talk about, and then we'll move on to other games in the series. I think we've talked about most of the ones. Well, with this video, we will have talked about most of the topics that revolve around Kingdom Hearts 3 that can be a little shifty when it comes to understanding where we're going in the future. But I really did want to come on and talk about this topic because I've known about this for a while, and it's not a theory. It's more so like explaining what's happening in the background, which is why this series exists, to explain what's happening in the background and how this may form into the future as stuff that will be revealed. But of course, with this being the end of, with Kingdom Hearts 3 being the end of the Xehanort saga, there also is that possibility that unless this is asked of Tetsuya Nomura within some type of Ultimania, we will never see this stuff be confirmed. That Xion pretty much makes a gamble when she gives her life at the end of days to ensure that Roxas himself will return in Kingdom Hearts 3. So thank you guys for tuning in to this video. Don't forget to do a little A-class gaming, and everything you do, don't forget to keep it A-class. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace the heck